Okay, so we are live. Hello and welcome back to Rep Sports. I'm Rahul Giri. I'm joined by Bharat Ramraj. And Indian women's hockey team actually initially they set a target of qualifying for the top 8 of this hockey World Cup. And that's an incredible achievement itself. But now they are looking to make a place into the top 4. Will that be possible? Because they'll be facing teams like Netherlands, then Australia. Is that possible? India need to pull off a miracle. Can they pull off a miracle? We'll discuss about that in this show. But tonight, India will face Netherlands in just few minutes. Netherlands means they will not only face the Netherlands team, but also a capacity crowd as well. The capacity of the Amstelveen Wagener Hockey Stadium is 10,000. So 10,000 Netherlands fans will be cheering for the home team. So it's a daunting task waiting for Indian women's hockey team. Bharat, India now have overcome the group stage. Now they are into the top 8, but can they sustain the pressure of knockout?
See, Netherlands obviously is going to be quite tough. We have already discussed. See, with Netherlands, it almost feels as if they have some hidden AI generated machines for the last 2 decades, and that is why they're able to get all these world beating sites out because they are, I guess, 9-time world champions, 5-time Olympic champions. They rarely lose. They have such a good structure back home. Obviously, they're now playing at home itself. So you expect Netherlands to come out on top, but India can take some heart from that one win against Netherlands that was at the Kalinga Stadium. Maybe in 2024, the Netherlands were leading 2-0 in that Pro League match, and India came back from 2-0, made it 2-all, and won that match in penalty shootout. Other than that, at least I can't remember India beating Netherlands, or at least the last 25 years of watching hockey. It might have happened somewhere in women's hockey, but I can't remember. But they can definitely take some heart from that one win against the Netherlands. It tells you that even the mighty Netherlands women's team can be beaten. So that is what they have to look at. But if you look at the Netherlands team, the way they play, very highly structured, fast-paced, suffocatingly fast-paced hockey, uh, and they just don't give you much space. I think it's a very well-organized side. We already discussed some of the key players yesterday. Genuinely feel Netherlands will win this, but India should definitely take heart from that one victory. Although you can counter me by saying that it came in front of India's home crowd, so they would have got a lot of support in that particular match. But still, they should take a lot of heart from that victory.
No, Bharat, I mean, similarly like you, I also have huge expectation from this team. And because the head coach of the team is, Dutch, and he knows, one or two things about the Netherlands hockey team. Nothing new to the world. We all know a Netherlands women's hockey team. They have been the dominant force since last couple of decades, I would say. They are the world champion. They are the Olympic champions. They are the FIH Pro League champions as well. Even they are the Euro champions as well. They have been dominated in all front, in the world hockey. But now it's a stiff challenge for our Indian women's team. But before discussing in more details about this top 8 game between Netherlands and India, I mean, there's a bit of confusion with this new format of this world hockey. I mean, what's the equation like for Indian women's team to qualify for the semi-final? So we'll discuss in details about that. So the thing is, India have qualified into the top 8 with 1 point, because both India and China have qualified from Pool D. As you know, India and China played out a 2-all draw in the first game of the group stage. That's why both China and India, they are walking into this Pool E, that is the championship round, with 1 point. Now, from the other end, from Pool A, Australia and Netherlands. Netherlands as the top team, Australia as the second place team, have joined India and China in Pool E. Now, Netherlands have joined this championship round with 3 points because they have defeated Australia in that game. But Australia with 0 points. So realistically, India have a chance against Netherlands. I don't see India defeating Netherlands, but at least if India can get at least a point from this game, that will be huge bonus for this women's team. And next against Australia, I see realistic chance, because Australia recently we have seen Australia struggle have been evident in this World Cup as well, and also in the games in the lead up to this World Cup. So India need to target that game against Australia, and hoping that China somehow, I mean, that China Australia game ends with a draw. So then India have a realistic chance to make it to the top 4 as well. But now, keeping all this equation aside, Bharat, Netherlands have been dominant force in the penalty corners as well, because in the recent FIH Pro League in one game they have scored 9 goals against Japan. I mean, Japan is not a weak side in the world hockey, and in that game they got 17 penalty corners. In the last game, Indian women's hockey team conceded 11 penalty corners against England. Can Indian women's team afford such kind of defensive lapses? Can they afford giving up so many penalty corners against team like Netherlands?
Yeah, I guess it is that Ibi Jansen. We already talked about her, the track flicker. She's going to be quite dangerous from the Netherlands. See, it's quite simple that I guess against England, India showed some resilience in terms of the defending. Because even if you look at their first rusher, someone like Salima Tete also put on a great performance. Bichu Devi has come through the ranks as a goalkeeper. She showed her class in the Women's World Cup qualifiers as well. In that semi-final against Italy, it was her who made all those saves. So against England, they put up a good show in terms of the defense. But yes, there are lapses here or there. I guess more importantly for India, it is about converting whatever chances they get against a team like Netherlands. Because expect Netherlands to score goals. It's not going to be 0-0. It's not going to be 0-0 like India versus England. So Netherlands are going to score goals. So whatever opportunities you get, you have to somehow convert. It could be a couple of penalty corners. It could be a couple of field goal chances, whatever it's. But if you look at the match against England, I counted. I actually wrote it in my copy as well today. That in the first 15 minutes itself, India missed out on three penalty corner chances and field goals. I think there were at least two that I counted. One was for Rishika, maybe the other one was for Salima. Both of them they missed. You can't keep missing those chances against team like the Netherlands because they're two notches higher than England. So I think that is where, sorry, it comes down to, for me at least, in my humble opinion, the key point to look at whatever chances India get, it could be one chance, it could be two chances. They just have to convert it, and that their defense will be pretty good to stop Netherlands from scoring more goals. So it would be very difficult, as I noted. They play very suffocatingly fast-paced hockey, and in Ibi Jansen they have someone who is known to be a machine in terms of drag flicking.
Absolutely. It won't be a totally one sided game. I'm hoping that India will also have their moments and they need to capitalize on those moments. Of course, India have ticked almost every boxes before going into this top eight. Against England, of course, the result was positive, to be honest. I mean, of course, the whole nation is proud of Indian women's team, the way they played against England, the way actually they sustained the pressure, throughout all the four quarters, especially in the last two quarters, because England kept on pressurizing, but India's defense actually stood firm. So a lot of positive, I mean, especially the defensive performance of Indian women's team and the goalkeeper as well. Both Sabita Punia and then Bichu Devi have been brilliant. But against Netherlands, I would say India can't afford, sitting back deep in their defense. They should also take control of the midfield if possible. For that, Bharat, how important will be Lalrim Seami and Salima Tete's role in the midfield?
Yeah, both of them obviously. We have already talked about Salima being a live wire in the midfield, and Lalrim Same also has been around for a long period of time, maybe 8 9 years. So the experienced players have to come to the fore. Maybe Salima Tete hasn't had her best tournament in terms of looking at her from the point of view like she's such a good player that if you compare her to the kind of class that was seen from Salima that in the past. I think she's not been at her absolute best, but maybe in a big game she will come good. But yes, these two experienced players have to do well against a team like the Netherlands. Because see, with the Netherlands, obviously you won't get too many spaces. Very highly defense, very good structure they have in terms of the defense. So yeah, the honest midfield India just have to. I guess it's all about converting whatever chances that you get. So everyone from defense, from midfield, right down to forwards, penalty corner conversion, India have to be at their absolute best to eke out a draw. Or I'm not saying completely ruling out India doing something out of the world, or maybe occasionally gone to upset the apple cart. Just wanted to add a word. We already talked about EB Jansen. I'm just seeing how many goals he scored. Yes, as expected in 90 matches, he has scored 87 goals. That itself tells you what kind of a drag flicker he is. Because in hockey, you don't hardly you see someone scoring one goal per match, and that's what she's doing over a period of 9 or 10 years.
Absolutely, but as I already mentioned, the India will have their moments, and especially Netherlands. Let's take a look. How Netherlands actually qualified for the top eight. Of course, they are the dominant force. They have defeated Japan by 9 goals, by 9-0 margin. So that's a very big margin. But then against Australia, if you see, they won that game by 4-2. But till the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken, the scoreline was 2-all. Then in the last two quarter, Netherlands women's team scored two more goals to make it 4-2. So it shows that against Netherlands, of course, they are dominant force, but still you can have your moment. You will have to capitalize those moments. Australia have exposed this side in the first two quarters. So, of course, Sword Marine and his team will come well prepared against this Netherlands team. But still, Bharat, what's your thoughts on the semi-final equation of Indian women's team? Do you think that they can pull off a miracle against Australia? Are you seeing chances, and also against Netherlands tonight?
Yeah, same thing, right? Women's. We are talking about still about women's hockey, right? Because the last word I didn't hear.
Yes. Yeah,
Today's
women's
match
hockey
only.
team.
Today's match. See,
The
Netherlands are going
semi-final
back.
equation. Do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, yes. Just going back to that, I'll go back to that match at the Kalinga Stadium. That is where India have to look at. I'm pretty sure the coaches also would show highlights of that match because India came, I think, from behind. They were 2-0 down in that Pro League match about 2 years ago. They drew that, they first of all ensured that there was parity to all and then went on to win in the shootout. So if it can be done 2 years ago, then it can be done even now against Netherlands. I'm just looking at it from India's perspective. I'm not saying India will go on to win this game, which obviously chances are less. So other than that, maybe even if they eke out a draw, as you noted, even if they say eke out a draw out
By
of
the way,
this
by the
match
way,
against
Bharat.
Netherlands.
By the way, Bharat, in another game in Pool A, Australia have played out a one-all draw against China. So result
Yeah,
are
yeah.
favoring
China are a
Indian
very
women's
good.
team.
Yeah. China are very good side. So actually, I expected them maybe to beat a team like Australia. That's what I
Yes.
thought so. But yes, one all draw it is. Australia, I don't think are at their best. So I think India can. If India put their best foot forward, I think they have a better chance against a team like Australia. We
Hmm.
saw that during the India tour of Australia. You also, I think, talked about it when India toured Australia for a four-match
Yes.
series around the lines this year. They performed creditably. So I think they have a much better chance against Australia. Yes, there was a time when Australian women's team was almost as good as Netherlands, but that's not the case. Definitely in 2026.
China playing out a draw. One-all draw against Australia, which means India have a real chance against Australia. And to be honest, so far this result of the game between China and Australia have worked wonders for Indian women's team. Now, what actually Salima Tete and other players need to do to pull off a draw? Obviously, it will be a hard-fought game against. It will be a very difficult game. Actually, India, every players on the pitch will have to be on their toes. Will have to play their A games against a team like Netherlands. But all they need right now is a draw against Netherlands. If they can win, that will be a historic victory, to be honest. But at least if they can pull off a draw against Australia, they have a real chance. So because another game result have now worked in favor of India, and obviously in few moments a big game is starting. The viewers who are watching this show, why are you not commenting? Why are you not sharing your feeling, your expectation about the game? You can share your prediction as well in the comment section. I can join our conversation as well. Now here we got one comment. What should be India's defensive strategy against Netherlands? Bharat, would you like to take this comment? Defensive strategy.
Yeah, just follow what they did against a team like England in terms of defensive structure. They were very good. I'm not saying that England are at Netherlands level. They definitely are not. Netherlands are much better. But in terms of look at the first rushers were very good. It was not as Pichu Devi showed her class against Howard, Teresa Howard. It was also the first rushers who showed their class, showed their grittiness. So let's continue that. But I think it will come down to, if India want to even eke out a draw against Netherlands, it will come down to taking their opportunities in terms of goals, whatever opportunities they get, and also it comes down to kind of midfield that we will see from the Indian team in this particular game. If the passes are good, if there are good crisp short passes, low passes, occasionally going for the aerial one, then obviously they have a good chance. So because you don't expect Netherlands to score zero goals and the match to end 0-0. They will definitely score a goal or two. So India have to match that and score a goal or two as well. I guess it was Marin itself who said it a few months back that we have to make count of every single chance, or almost at least half of the chances that we get are on the signs that they talked about. So India have to make use of almost every opportunity that they get against a team like Netherlands. I guess that is where it will come down.
Absolutely, Bharat. I think there is a technical. Now we are back. Okay, we have been discussing a lot about the women's team game, but let's take a look at our men's team fixture as well in the top eight. Because both of our men's and women's team have qualified for the top eight. At first, we all expected the men's team only to qualify for the championship round, but now our women's team as well, defied all odds and expectation, and that is an incredible achievement as well. But here's the fixture of our men's team in the top eight. India will be also facing Netherlands tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Indian time, and then next on 24th August, India will be facing Argentina. Difficult challenges waiting for Indian men's team as well. But I think the gap is not that big between India and Netherlands in men's hockey. Because recently in the Pro League, if you see, Indian men's team have defeated teams like Netherlands, Germany. So, but at the same time, India's form, India's defensive composure have been a bit of concerning, in the recent games, especially against Pakistan. Then they lost to England as well. So that might have deterred their confidence a bit before going to the top eight. But actually, if Indian men's team can play their A game, they can punch. If they can punch above their weight, then obviously there is a possibility India can make a top four finish at this World Cup. And also, again, coming back to tonight's game, here's the starting 11 for our Indian women's team. Bharat, your thoughts? Bichu Devi starting in the goal. Then Salima Tete will be leading. Navneet Kaur, Shakshi Rana, Rutuja Dadoso Pisal, Ishika Chaudhary, Lalram Siame, Sunilita Topo, Neha Jyoti, Shunila Chanu. And also one other positive for Indian team. I mean, India is not only dependent on Navneet and Deepika, for scoring goals. Sunilita Topo is also, contributing. In the South African game, there have been 5 different goal scorers. So another big positive for Indian women's team. But Bharat, would you like to add something else on the starting 11?
Yeah, it's kind of expected. Starting 11, I guess, after the way Biju Devi performed in the last game, they would have definitely started with her because they would also want to give more experience to someone like Biju Devi, because someone like Savita won't be there forever. And she showed her class in that World Cup qualifiers, as I noted, not just in the last game, where Italy put her under extreme pressure in that World Cup qualifier semi-final. At least three chances, at least three potential goals that she saved, and someone like Howard, is a very good player from England, and expected her to get a goal, but even that she saved. So I guess it's the right call at the moment. Other than that, seems like a very much expected side, right? Someone like Neha, I guess, has been a little bit underrated. Unfortunately, we also have to take a little bit of blame because we have not talked much about her. I think she has had a pretty good World Cup in terms of the midfield. And other than that, I think Topo is someone to look out for. She has great pace. Hopefully, India will make use of this girl called Sunita Topo, because she has great pace. It's just about how others can keep pace with her. I think that is where it comes down to, because she's so fast. that sometimes maybe few other players are not able to keep up their pace with her. So she's another interesting player to watch out for. Yeah, I think it's a side that is very much a work in progress. It's coming through the ranks, and in a couple of years' time, if you look at this particular side, we might have India might have a realistic chance of winning a medal. But at present, it's still a work in progress side.
Absolutely. Just few minutes to go for the game. So we'll end our show. But before ending our show, we'll take this comment. Then we'll share our prediction. You guys who are watching this show can also share your prediction. What are you feeling about this game in the comment section below? Bharat, why do Indian men crumble in World Cup despite improving in Olympics? That's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, after winning bronze at the Tokyo Olympics, Indian team actually failed to replicate the same performance at the Hockey World Cup, and that was a home World Cup as well. But still, India finished ninth. So that was bit surprising. And again, India again punched above their weight and won bronze at the Paris Olympic. Bharat, any thoughts on this?
I don't have I also don't have a real answer because personnel have come and gone, or at least 32 years of hockey that I watched. Many players have come and gone. It's difficult to say. I will give an example. See, in crucial matches, for example, when Indian men's team play, I'm just giving an example. When an Indian men's team play England men's team in crucial matches like the Commonwealth Games, in the Olympics, they generally beat England. But if you look at the World Cup, I myself was surprised that India men's team had not beaten the England men's team over 32 years in World Cups, because outside of that, they generally have a better record against this particular team. I think that basically encapsulates the point as to, for some reason, England or India, sorry, don't do well in men's World Cups over a long period of time. I don't exactly reason for that. Maybe the best finish that I saw from the Indian men's team, at least I saw, obviously, I was not even alive in 1975, was in the 94 World Cup when India were placed fifth. I think Felix did a really
Yes.
good job so Cedric D'Souza, sorry, Cedric D'Souza did a very good job as a coach. I guess Felix was also around. Obviously, Tanraj Pillai, individual brilliance. Mukesh Kumar, maybe there was Anil Aldrin, Subaya, Mohammad Riaz, all these players. That was, I think, India's best performance, at least the one among the ones that I've seen. So I don't have an answer for this. Actually, it was the case in Olympics as well. For a long period of time, India would flop because India were expected to win a medal. I'm telling you, India were expected to win a medal in both the 96 Olympics and the 2000 Olympics. India had a very experienced side. They had won some matches against European teams, but they went to the Olympics, crashed out. And even in 2000, it came very close. Then obviously crazy match against Poland, where they drew that game instead of winning it, and went out of the bronze medal reckoning. So it was happening with Olympics. Thankfully, it has changed. Finally, it has changed. Hopefully, at some point of time, if not in this World Cup, it will change even with the World Cups.
Absolutely. And now it's time for prediction. My heart says India will pull off a draw against Netherlands, but my mind says it will be very difficult actually for India to pull off a draw against Netherlands. So Netherlands, I'm seeing Netherlands winning this game, but again, India needs to punch above their weight. India need to play their A game. Every player need to give more than 100%. If they can do it, then obviously it's possible for India to at least get a point from this game, and that will be a huge, huge bonus for Indian women's team. Because remember, China and Australia have played out a one-all draw, so that's a very favorable result for Indian women's team, and they will be stepping into the pitch knowing the result of the China versus Australia game, so that will be an added boost as well for the team. Bharat, why not you at the prediction hat?
What about me saying the same thing? Playing safe about my mind and heart. Just
Absolutely.
joking. My mind says that, my heart says this. I'm just joking. Anyway, I see same thing. My mind will say that Netherlands will should and will come out on top. But hopefully, my heart will keep saying right through the match that India will pull off a jailbreak or miracle or a heist. I don't think it will happen because I guess Netherlands have a little too much for the Indian side, but never say never. Sport obviously is a in sport it's a game of glorious uncertainties. So I'm not completely ruling out India. Just from India's perspective, as I noted, there's vast highlights of that match against Netherlands in Odisha a couple of years ago when they 2-0 down. They came back, drew that game, and then went on to win the shootout. Yes, it could be in just a pro league, but still,
True.
they have beaten Netherlands once. So that is the match. They just keep watching the highlights of that match, and maybe their confidence will be boosted.
Absolutely. So that's it. We'll end our show because we are just, I think the game is just few minutes away to start. So you guys also watch the game, but don't forget to join us for the post match show. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the post match show.